Hello and welcome to another live stream. Hopefully we are streaming okay and it's all working. I kind of fell asleep on the sofa, so last minute we organised this. Just need to close down a bunch of apps. Hey Empire, how's it going? You can see a bit of chaos in the background of my office. I've been putting up all my filming gear to make a video, so I'll be working on my next video. Exactly, going to be trying to do these Mondays and Wednesday every 8 p.m. I'm still asleep from falling asleep on the sofa for an hour or so. Oh, so bad. How is everyone doing anyway? Very last minute this, so hopefully we still get enough people. We're going to talk about just Amazon and business, I guess. So if anyone's got any questions, you can fire them away and ask me anything about Amazon. We'll give everyone a little chance to come on. Yeah, looks like it's all looking okay, which is awesome. Let me just make the OA Hero logo a little bit bigger. No, make it a little bit smaller. There we go. There we go. Still need to tweak this a little bit. Cool. So how is everyone doing? How is everyone's month going so far? What was your previous month sales like? I'll get to that in a minute. We'll let everyone else join a little bit, then I'll get to that. Yeah, well, I'll take a screenshot and throw it on the old screen so everyone can see. Not the best ROI, but its sales are picking up slowly. Really good. So sales are really high actually. Profits a little bit. Profits growing as well, but not as much as I want. But it's getting better though. That's the main thing. We're growing again. So yeah, I'll throw those on the screen in just a second. I've got my STK here actually. Let me just close down some of the browsers. I've been doing a lot of work today on a lot of things. I've got a lot of windows and browsers open, and yeah, it's really slowing my computer down. So let's just save that. Cool. I had a good call with a young lady today as well about Amazon FBA, which is awesome. So she wants to get into Amazon, just learning how to do Amazon, which is amazing. So definitely made me realise though, definitely need that step-by-step guide. So me or Wes will be working on that maybe. So helping me write it anyway and get that out, which would be awesome. So yeah, I need to get a proper guide out from start to finish. I need to get a guide out there. So I've already started writing one anyway. So that would be good to. Yeah, to get that out there, really need to, and then yeah, so much to do. We did a big update today on OA Hero. We pumped out a bunch of new data, which was awesome. So it was basic data, stuff that my VA's been working on for the past sort of 2 weeks, contacting every single supplier via email. I've had a bunch of phone calls from people as well. Suppliers ringing me up. We're asking about VAT invoices, things like that. So really good information. So, excuse me. So, Empire, appreciate you being on, by the way. You're the only one here now, I think, at the moment. So, but hopefully people will join after a little while. That's awesome, though. You get me to yourself, actually. It's like a one-on-one session. So, asking, do you currently use Warehouse Goblins? Thinking about trying them out, but heard Conrad saying they take 1 to 2 weeks to ship. So, now I use Warehouse Goblins, and I think they're very good. They don't take 1 to 2 weeks to ship for me. They're pretty good. Maybe because I'm like a celebrity, it might be. I'm joking. They definitely had issues in the past when they were, and I'm being fully transparent here, when they were running out of big yellow storage. It seemed like a really good solution. Then some like internet celebrity came along and kind of blew them up a little bit, and then they outgrew that facility. And the big yellow facility looked really good until you realize you have to run everything inside of a locker, essentially. And actually it becomes really difficult. But now they have a massive warehouse, amazing like storage racks on there, and like really well organized, and yeah, it's good. So I don't know when he had that kind of experience, but no, they're pretty good. So and he's hired a bunch more staff, and he's like so had some growing pains, but yeah, overall really good. And I've never had any issues there. So I'd say give him a go. Like, what have you got to lose? So give them a go, send some stuff in, see how it works out. So yeah, you'll be fine, mate. But yeah, I use them. And I send thousands and thousands of items to Chris at Warehouse Goblins every single month. So yeah, I'd give them a go. But yeah, one thing I will say though is that I don't know a single prep center out there that has literally had a perfect record from basically from growing pains or something like that. So yeah, even like in fact, pretty much everyone I've heard like bad stories from, because either at Christmas they took on too many clients. I've heard C&K I've heard several horror stories from that prep center. Even one recently, actually, but mainly around Christmas. I know it's several people that got screwed over by that prep center, and they're the ones that say, "Oh, we're going to send it direct into the warehouse." But I'll assume it's not a typical thing. I'll assume that maybe they just took on too many clients at Christmas and had some growing pains and stuff. So yeah. So Neil B. Mouse saying experience isn't a typical one because you have a voice. Maybe. I stopped using them a few months back. Okay, yeah. Let me know what happened there, basically, Neil B. Let me know if you had any issues. So it's a shame to hear. But who did you go with in the end? Who did you change to? That's a real shame to hear that. But yeah, I use them and I've had no problems with them. So yeah. Let me get to your first question then, which is the sales. So let me get my SDK up here. So you can see it on the screen, but Empire was asking what was my last month's sales and profit. It's not as much as I like, but it is growing slowly. Screenshot taken. I think I can just drag it on here. Hopefully you guys can see that now. Just drag this straight on. Make it a bit bigger. Oh God, it's probably all over the place. Sorry about that. Cool. Anyway, it's not very centered, whatever. So look, it's not the best, but we are definitely growing. I'm definitely clearing out some older stock. You can see my sales are really quite high. My profit, it's growing. Really stopping in January really hurt me. Having these 2 auth claims has really hurt me as well, but now we're growing again. So I'm already on this month. I'm on like nearly £600 profit. So it's getting there. It's growing slowly over time, which is good. It does take a while really to ramp up Amazon, but we've got some good sales there. But yeah, in terms of profit, not what I'd like to be at, but I only need to 3x that to get to 10k. So it's not really a big issue. ROI is a little bit lower than I'd like. That's the only thing I'd say. But I am doing more wholesale stuff, so that's to be expected. To be fair, so there's not the results I like really, but yeah, it is what it is basically. So yeah, yeah, I'd like it to be better, but there we go. We hear again, yes, Enuffles. I'm back in the UK and back on a somewhat regular sleeping schedule. I'm going to be trying to stick to a regular streaming schedule of Monday at 8 p.m. and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Monday I'll probably be sourcing. Wednesday I'll probably just like hanging out and chatting and asking questions. Maybe I'll come up with need to be more organized and maybe put in the group, ask for some sort of theme we can talk about, and then I can talk about that. Gives me something to talk about as well. But yeah, I'm going to try and stick to those regular schedules. And I've even told my friends and everyone I will not be available Monday evenings and Wednesday evenings for meals and stuff. So we have to schedule those on Tuesday, Thursday. But yeah, so that's fine. But yeah, that's how serious I'm taking it. So let me just get rid of this. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Sorry, that flashed up there. I'm just removing it. It's annoying me. Yeah, there we go. Cool. You guys can't see it, but I can. I've hidden it. But yeah, those are my results anyway. So not as much as I'd like, but it is getting and it's growing. So, and I've got a lot of stock. I've still £150,280 and 98 pence in Amazon right now. I've got some sick stock just waiting to go in terms of like, I'm holding on the price. So I'm not willing on some of the items that I've got to sell out too quickly as the price has gone down. As is typical, pretty much always, no matter what you do, there's always going to be some tanking going on. If you're buying from an exclusive website or something, there's going to be a little bit of price tanking. I'd love to be able to sell all my stock immediately, but realistically, it takes a little while before the price comes back, and I'm just holding out. I've got some really good stock. So, yeah, I've actually got one here where basically just another sale. What time was that? 8:05. So, yeah, like 6 minutes ago, which is 32% ROI. And that was tanked maybe 3-4 months ago. So that's now come back. I'm pretty much me and one other guy on the listing, and the other guy is way more expensive. So I'm keeping it under £10, like £9.99 or £10 to get that kind of small and light discount. And try and keep the sales losses going because I've had them in there quite a while and I want to get rid of them. I've got a decent amount of stock, 235 units. So yeah, okay, let me catch up with the old chat then. So Empire saying currently with Skewific. Look, I actually think Skewific is a great prep center, to be fair. So yeah, I've visited them as well. I think they're great. I just personally prefer having one more local that I can go and visit. and having warehouse goblins here, and they work very well for me, is just a perfect situation. I have visited Screwific. They're in Lincoln. It's a bit of a trek for me. It's like an hour. It's not end of the world, but yeah, it's easier to go to somewhere that's like 20 minutes down the road than an hour down the road. But I had some great experiences there, by the way. Never had any big issues. So they're more expensive. They do ship within a day without issue. They were more on the expensive side, which is why they were looking for cheaper. Well, yeah, fair enough. So look, try both. See, you just got to try and see, basically. Send a test batch in, see what happens. That's the only thing I can really suggest. Pretty much a good experience thing with any kind of business, really. Just try and see. Yeah. So they'll be source to store most of the time. The only thing I don't like about is, I don't know if this is true or not. I thought this was, and then someone told me the other day that it wasn't. So I don't know. But someone told me, I've heard from several people, that source to store do Amazon themselves. So correct me if I'm wrong, 100% correct me if I'm wrong. I did hear one person say that I was wrong, but I've heard multiple people say that I was right, that they do Amazon themselves. And never sat well with me is that a prep center that sells on Amazon themselves. I don't care how moral you are or how good you are. Seeing all this stock come in, even just seeing the stores it's coming from, things like, I don't know, it just feels like I don't know, it seems a bit weird. I consider myself a very moral person. I would struggle to go, oh, that's a really good deal, that's just come past me and I sell on Amazon. Maybe I should look on that site for that product next time. Because it's going to get in your head, isn't it? I mean, I don't know, anyway, so, yeah. But I've heard also good things from them as well, to be fair, so, yeah. Basically, find what works for you, and yeah, if it works for you, having good experience is cool. You can always try other things as well, but yeah, and sometimes don't rock the boat, I guess. So Empire's saying my ROI is suffering as well. This Qogita leads bricking hard. Need to make sure I try and get price drops. Yeah, so you obviously know where you can get the price drops. Not that stock has been sat. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I always think. But yeah, I always think, I don't know, they say they don't, but anyone can lie. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea, to be fair. I actually don't know personally. I've only been told what I've been told. So I'm not going to say it's true either way. That's just one thing I've heard. I always think it's a massive conflict of interest to do both. Whether it actually hurts you or not, I don't know, But yeah, it is a conflict. Hey, so how's it going? I'm very good, thank you. How are you doing? How is everyone doing? So yeah, with Qogita, you've definitely got to get those price drops. It's just like any kind of website, really. Like if you are buying stuff that's been sat at a price available to everyone knows about it for a long time, and it's just like the regular price, then it's definitely going to get saturated unless you can clear all the stock. Unless for some reason, whatever, it's been sat there and no one knows about it. And yeah, but it's very rare that you find something that's just sat there at a normal price. And essentially that's what Qogita is. It's a lot of stuff at normal prices. And then, just like if you go onto any kind of website, and then obviously they have the price drops. And you're just trying to buy those sale items and obviously hope that there's not a ridiculous amount of stock. So one thing I'm always looking at is how much of this stock is there. So if maybe I find something that's 1,000 sales per month, if there's 10,000 stock, I probably wouldn't buy it. If I could guarantee 100% that I was going to get at least 500 sales a month or more on that listing, and that there's only 10,000 units that was never going to restock, I probably would bite the bullet on that and buy like 20 months worth of stock. But I'd have to have like ironclad promises on that, which obviously you're not going to get. So I wouldn't do that, basically. What's my favorite PPP strategy? It is the cautious sell enhancer. Pretty sure that's the one I'm using. I've not actually been looking at my reprice in a little while. I need to make it more of a regular thing, really, that I go in and check my pricing a bit more. This is probably running too many businesses at once. You can't always focus on Amazon. So sometimes my repricing gets a little bit out of whack in terms of like me actually going and adjusting things. But right now, I'm more of a hold strategy right now. Let's have a look. Profit Pro. Cautious enhancer. I may have changed it. Let's have a look. My default. To be fair, I do change it. So cautious enhancer is my default one. I do change it to aggressive sales if I have got something that's been sat in there for ages, basically. So, but I do adjust it here and there. But yeah, let's have a look at the old PPP. My defaults. I say balance sell accumulator. Sorry, my bad. Balance sell accumulator is the one I'm using now. I switched to PPP from SDK. It was noticing it was far away from the buy box, even when I have it matching buy box. Interesting. So one thing that it does, and it's not always the best when it does this, I'll be honest. It tries to, and this is why I set a min maxes. So one thing I don't ever do with PPP is I don't ever let it set my min maxes. I always basically set them manually, which is one thing that takes a bit more effort and time. Is basically I'm going in, I'm analysing the product, and I'm setting a minimum that I'm happy with. Normally, I don't know. It depends on whether I'm looking to hold it or whether I'm looking to sell through. But essentially, I'm setting it either around 0% ROI. If it's something that I want to just clear through and sell through when the price is dropping and just get rid of them, or I'm just setting it to like 30% ROI, roughly around there. And then I'm setting this is the important thing, setting a realistic max, because it will just literally put the price ridiculously high if you let it. Now it's meant to be testing Amazon in the buy box. It doesn't always necessarily work out that way, I found, or it might put it too high, and realistically, unless it's a super fast seller or something very popular, it's just not going to sell at that price, even though the buy box is there. So you've got to look at the history and go, look, what is an actual realistic price that people have actually bought this for, and then set that basically. So don't let it go crazy and give it some good boundaries. But yeah, so otherwise it does go a bit mad sometimes on the old pushing that price up, and yeah, you've got to have some sales velocities going through, unless you've got like one in stock, you want to just put the price up and hope it sells. But you've got to have some kind of sales velocity. You've got to find that balance between price and sales velocity. You don't want to just put everything to maximum price. Let's say you've got 1,000 stock in there, and you know you can 100% sell an item for like normally it sells for £100. You know, I'll put £200. It will sell, but it'll only sell like one a year. Well, that's not a very good strategy, is it? Even though you're maximizing your profit on that one, it's going to take you like 200 months to sell or 200 years to sell. You know, a terrible example, but you get what I mean, though. So I have heard, and I need to test it, even though I'm sponsored by PvP, I do promote them. I've heard good things about Be Cool. So I need to try them out as well. In the end of the day, I'm going to use what's best and promote what's best, but I've not tried them myself. I know Enough-Folds, if he's still watching, uses them. He likes them. I don't know if you use the AI, though. You use the basic plan, I think, Enough-Folds. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it'd be good to try out. The problem is just it takes ages to move over. You know, I don't know how many ASINs I've got now. Quite a few, just to move them all over. Yeah, okay, cool. There, Snuffle stuff. So use the non-AI plan. I'd love to see the AI plan, see how that works. But yeah, so Empire saying, I think PPP modes are good for slower selling ones where you're against the FBA listings. You can try and increase the price. Yeah, potentially, yeah. As long as you've not got too much stock, you want to get some sales velocity. I think I 100% agree with that. But sometimes it just goes a little bit mad, and you need to really factor in that making the maximum profit is not always the correct thing, essentially. That is not always the correct thing. Sometimes you really need to get some sales losses going through. So do you know if we can bulk upload maximum order quantities? Oh, try us. So you will be able to do it. However, I have never been able to successfully use the bulk uploading thing for sheets. It was always way too complicated, and I just didn't want to sit there and think about it. But there is a sheet you can upload that you can try. Now, there is one actually that's interesting. So Seller Smart, I'm going to give them a free shout. They've got a sheet that you can use to track your purchases. And in that, you can download it and then upload that to Amazon as a bulk upload. Now, I don't think it's got quantities on there, but you could always try that and then add the quantities. Now, when it comes to max quantities, it's not something I personally worry about too much. I do every now and then set limits, but I just do it manually. This whole sometimes you do need to be worried about people buying your stock out, but it really doesn't happen very often. I've not noticed it anymore, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really set them very often, but maybe if I've got a lot of stock, I will do. I just throw it in manually. But yeah, could be worth trying that. To be fair, what I said there, the Seller Smart one, they've got a free sort of tracking sheet, and that you can upload. But you'll have to add the extra column in for quantity. So yeah, that might work for you. But I don't know if it will update your existing. This is where it gets tricky. It's like creating a listing is very different to updating one. So that's where it gets even trickier with mass upload. Excuse me. Right. So AI MO is still a marketing strat. Any reprice I'll use or basic plans, I find that to be the best bang for your buck. Fair enough, yeah. AI, yeah, in some regards, it is gimmicky. Just in general, not repricing. It's an amazing tool, but it's massively overhyped. I use it today, for example, to upload my data onto OA Hero. And all this data gets put into a spreadsheet by my VA, and I was looking through and basically exported that as a CSV, uploaded that to ChatGPT to do some stuff, manipulate it so I can import it into my app, and basically just totally messed up one of the column names. I was like, right, rename this column name to this, and I even renamed it on the sheet, and it basically reverted back. It was just like, honestly, sometimes it's so dumb, it's unbelievable. So AI is really cool, but man, it's rubbish as well. So it's got a long way to go. It's good, but it's also terrible. All AI reprices are a bunch of if statements. So the thing is, the whole idea is with AI is that you're going to build, hopefully the way they're working is that it's not just doing a bunch of if statements, because that isn't AI. Is that it's essentially, or maybe kind of, it's basically hopefully learning from everyone. So if you're 1,000 people repricing, I don't know how they've written their multi-language model, MLM or what it's called, multi-level marketing. I don't know what they call it anyway. What's it called? What's it called? MLL? I can't remember. Anyway, hopefully it's learning about different types of listings and things like that, and basically building up a model based on Amazon. Now, whether actually doing that or not, whether it's just a basic if statement, what you don't want is this AI to basically, every time it sees a new listing, it's like starting a new kind of like thing from scratch. That's not AI really. But yeah, so who knows how they're all working basically. But yeah, if it's learning from everyone and every listing that it does, then it could be really powerful, to be fair. Because it could be like, electronics, for example. Let's say an Xbox controller. You can see it's got history showing that, these Xbox controllers, we can keep pushing the price up and people still buy them. The next time you list an Xbox controller, even if it's a different ASIN, it could have learned from the previous ones on how they react. That kind of stuff, basically. Who knows if they work like that? But yeah. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Hey, Bert, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Hey, Thomas, thank you for joining us. Sorry for my tardiness. It's okay. I have made a note though. They say learning and listing empire. Yeah, so they definitely aren't learning. Well, yeah, without seeing the code and seeing the whole thing. But yeah, let's be honest, guys. Every year or 2 years or whatever, there's always a new buzzword that comes into the business. We've had crypto. That was one. Blockchain, probably similar, buzzword. What other buzzwords can we think of that people have done in business? AI is the current one, of course, which people use. So, have you guys joined my AI Discord server, by the way? It's the best AI Discord server ever. So Amazon, everything's AI. And my AI YouTube channel. AI is the big buzzword. And OA Hero runs on AI, but no, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't. I should just put a little AI icon on it though. What the buzzwords are, I can't even think about it really. But yeah, there's always some sort of buzzword. Actually, when I worked for my company, I said to my my boss, because we're trying to raise funds at the time, I said, look, we don't need it. We were building an audit trail, which is a very important thing in that industry, is to show any data changes, anything like that. And I was in charge of building it. And I said, look, we don't need to do this in blockchain. However, it kind of works as an audit trail. We should really, especially for the investors, we should basically store like a checksum or something on the blockchain, on the public blockchain. So we can say, look, it's a blockchain-driven audit trail. It didn't go down very well, and Boss wasn't that interested, but I actually genuinely think we'd have got way more funding if we actually did that, and then we could literally say that we were blockchain-driven. I think that would have, that would have done very well. Even though it's kind of pointless, at the same time, it kind of wasn't. An audit trail is meant to be like an incorruptible bit of data, showing that people have modified things, deleted things. If you store like a checksum, which essentially is like essentially takes a snapshot of the data and then creates like a little code out of that. So if you change even like one bit of the data, it will change the checksum. If you store that on a public record, which is the blockchain, then you can, I'm killing people now, killing my views, and then essentially it becomes incorruptible in that point of view. So yeah, that was an interesting thing, but yeah, it never went through. So Empire saying, do you have PTSD from crypto? It is what it is. It definitely affected me for a long odd time, but I'm over it now, really. Obviously, it was like the biggest mess up in my life, but what are you going to do, in hindsight, look, why don't we all just buy Google when we're like 10, just like whatever. It is what it is. So, what are you going to do? Nothing I can worry about now. I'm just going to focus on my own business and, just getting rich the normal way rather than doing it through crypto. So the people who got rich on crypto just basically either the hardcore people who just never gave up or people who forgot their wallets, pretty much. But yeah, anyway. Hey, Flipping Cars and Repairs, how's it going? It's Grinch. Thanks for joining us. I always forget, to be fair. I was like, who's that? You should change your name on here. Can you change your name? Maybe. 99% of the use case of blockchain would be having a centralized database. Yeah, so obviously we could not store that data publicly, but it was more about having that audit trail, really. So yeah, which was quite an important thing. But it's more about the fact that every kind of year or 2 years or whatever, there's always some sort of hyped buzzword inside of essentially business and when it comes to raising money. And so the right one right now is AI. The companies literally, there's one that went bust recently called Builder.ai, and turns out that basically it wasn't AI, that had a call center or whatever full of Indians coding away trying to build these things, but they just said, hey, it's AI. Ridiculous. So Flipping Car says, how much do you lose? So at one point, I basically did it for a long time. I got in really early when Bitcoin was $1. In my wallet, as sort of my nest egg, I saved 50 Bitcoin, 5,000 Litecoin. And then I stopped doing crypto because I lost faith in it. And then basically I sold it over time to basically fund my life, basically living. And then fund my life sounds like I was doing something bad. Just living, paying for bills, and eventually sold them through and sold them super low. It was one of those things, is what it is. So at one point I had 400 Bitcoins. Not that it was all mine, but we did like a group buy for something, a miner. A bunch of people sent me a bunch of Bitcoin. I had 400 Bitcoin, spent it on this miner. At that time it was about $10,000. So yeah, a bit of a mess up. Sorry, I got a bit of a cough there. But I'm now muted it. So yeah, what are you gonna do? Hey, I got into Bitcoin when it was $1, basically, and I thought it was too late then. So what are you gonna do? Yeah. I had a decent amount of money, sort of like, I don't know, 5-10 mil. Yeah, dollars, I guess. Yeah, not too bad really. What are you gonna do though? Yeah, it is what it is. I was in so early, it was unbelievable. I was in when Bitcoin was $1. That is how early I was. And back then, I was like, well, Bitcoin's a bit late for Bitcoin. We'll start with Litecoin because that's the one that's got more potential. Exactly. So it did. I did suffer for a while. I'm not going to lie. It was painful seeing it go through the roof and then thinking, "Oh, I had this amount of money." Hey, it is what it is, though. So yeah, nothing you can do. Obviously, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't worry about it because I'd be way richer before then. But yeah, so what are you going to do? So yeah, building business now. That's the best way. And honestly, to be fair, I think I would have actually wasted it all. To be honest. So I was so young and stupid. I think I probably would have wasted it all. So yeah, obviously it'd been a good position to be in to waste 5-10 million, but I think I would have bought a nice house and stuff. But yeah, I'd have wasted a lot. Hey Snappy, how's it going? Just talking about my total mess ups on Bitcoin a few years ago, or several years ago now. But yeah, any Amazon questions? So another sale there, nice one. Actually, terrible ROI on that one. I need to sort that out. But yeah, £3 profit on that one. £150 profit today, which is actually not too bad. Definitely notice the difference having that auth claim disappear. The next one goes on the 12th or 13th of June, so then it'll be skyrocketing, hopefully. Hey, like it, buy it, love it. Sorry guys, my throat's terrible today. Nearly bought that product you found in the last video. Spanish baby product, 400 sales a month, but the idea of 100% units bought scared me. Not took the wholesale jump just yet. Okay, still doing RA. Fair enough. Yeah. It was a weird one, right? Because you couldn't even tell what it was. Apart from that, obviously you dig into it, you can see it's about talcum powder or something. But yeah. Yeah, you definitely have a boat then. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows what I've done, basically. Yeah. So it is what it is. Yeah. So yeah, it was the hot thing at the time. I randomly got into it after I finished doing poker. I think I played Destiny for like a year, and then just like didn't know what to do. Then randomly came across something about it. But yeah, and then turned my living room into like a data center of graphics cards. So yeah, enough. It was 150 profit day 2. Oh wow, nice. There you go. So what are these little icon things next to your names? Empire's number 1. Is that the first stream? Is that how? Okay. Is that the number of chatting you're doing? That's weird. Okay, I don't know. You probably can't see that actually. I don't know. It's for me. Speaks the most. Okay, fair enough. Good job, Enough. Yeah, obviously this time of year as well, sales are starting to pick up, which is nice. So yeah, it's a good money maker, Amazon. So you can make some good money on it. I've got a bunch of DMs. Need to check those out later. Just the whole year, I basically got a little bit obsessed into it, especially, and it was actually quite early on in that game, so I did a lot of repeating the same stuff over and over, running 3 characters. Yeah, I was a bit lost at that time, didn't know what to do, so wasted about a year or so on Destiny. It was fine, I enjoyed it and stuff like that. So it got to the point where I'd like done everything so much that basically I was logging into my friends' characters to help them get stuff, but it is what it is. So I was didn't know what to do with my life at that point, basically. So I don't know how old I was at that time, but yeah, probably in my 20s, I think. I'd have to think about it. Yeah. Nobody's off to Vegas a few weeks. World Series of Poker. Ever been? I have been. Yes, I have been. I never played in the World Series, but I've been to the World Series. Yes, I have. So enjoy, have fun. So that poker's not something I want to get into. I thought about it. There's again, talking about AI, there's definitely, that is rife for abuse in AI, and it already is being abused. So definitely don't recommend getting into that online. You will literally get abused by AI bots. I know the sites try and stop it, but nah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, so only the most basic ones, the really good ones, will avoid detection, I think. But yeah, so interesting one anyway. So yeah, what's everyone been sourcing recently? What's everyone's sourcing method at the moment? What are you doing sourcing wise? Because I've been giving some advice to people recently on what to do. Obviously, depending on. And by the way, mentoring wise, I decided not to do mentoring. So I had a few calls with some people who wanted to do mentoring. I've had 3 people reach out now. And I was going to do it, and then I had this like existential dread afterwards of thinking, why am I doing this? It's a huge responsibility that I just don't want. It sounds terrible, to be fair, but I was just like, it's too much responsibility, basically. So I decided to nip that in the bud, and I'm not going to go down that route. So sorry to those guys that I let down, but yeah, I decided it's just not for me to do like a full-on mentoring. Just too much responsibility to take someone's money, and then if someone gives me that much money to then do Amazon. So I decided not to do it, basically. So that's not happening anymore. So if you want to jump on a call with me and get help, reach out and I'll do it for free, basically. But yeah, I don't like the idea of taking money for this kind of stuff. Really, I don't know. It's definitely leaving money on the table. But yeah, I decided not for me. I don't want that responsibility, to be fair. So in terms of like paying, I'll just try and get all the information out there for free, basically, if I can. And then obviously do things like this. You can just get the information for free as well. So that was a weird one for me, actually. In that evening, I was like, why am I doing this? Why? I had like a fear of dread from that. So change plans every week. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to do it. That was my, long terms. I was like, I don't want to do mentoring, basically. And then a few people talked me into it and saying, look, you're leaving loads of money on the table. And to be fair, I was getting asked all the time to do it. And I was like, well, it'd be silly of me not to take the money then, I suppose. But then afterwards, I was like, basically, I'm at the age now where I only want to do what I want to do. I don't need to do things for money. So if I don't want to do it, then I'm not going to do it. And for that, I was just thinking to myself, it's too much responsibility. There's plenty of other coaches out there. I'm not going to do it, basically. So yeah, that's what I decided. So yeah, I do change plans. I have got an overall plan that I am following. That one just maybe sidetracked me slightly. But yeah, on that one, it's just, yeah, it doesn't align with my business goals, essentially. So I'm giving up a lot of money there, but there we go. It's what it is. Life's not all about money, is it? So yeah. Let's have a look what everyone's saying then. I got a random one. Yeah, sure, go for it. Yeah, if you've got go for random questions, it's all cool. Enough, we should definitely do a call again sometime soon. Oh yeah, so actually I was talking to Brad yesterday maybe. I lose track at time sometimes. And he was saying what I should try and do actually is do one of these things here, these live calls, but we'll try and get 2 or 3 people on. And that way it's more of a, we can chat, we can talk to chat as well, so we've got an interaction going on. So enough, if you want to do that. If you want to jump on a live call, we can do that. And obviously we can interact with the chat online, and we can obviously talk to each other, and it can be more interesting than just me talking, I suppose. So I thought it was a really good idea, and we could try and maybe get someone different on from the group. So if anyone wants to join and jump on in a live stream, and just, we could talk about Amazon, or we'll try and get a topic going, so specific topics. We've got a theme to talk about. But yeah, if anyone wants to do that, let me know. We'll try and get that on, and maybe we'll turn Wednesdays into sort of a group chat type thing where we've talking to multiple people are talking, or we can have regular guests. I don't know. So yeah, could be kind of interesting one, to be fair. And yeah, we'll definitely need to do some more podcasts as well. So I think I've got 2 podcasts I never even published, which is really bad. So I need to do that. But yeah, so Empire is saying probably can make a lot of money by your current referral, and especially Amazon software if you keep building them. Yeah, exactly, Empire. So from a referral point of view, by the way, Qogita is really good, don't get me wrong. But generally it's not that great. So yeah, you need a lot of people to make a lot of money from affiliates. I'll be brutally honest with you. But yeah, but I still kind of like that model because it's more passive for me. So it was like today I was like saying to this lady, like, you can use Seller App. I was like, I was saying like, look, this affiliate links, I do this for free, but it's not like I make much money. I think Seller App I get like $3 a month or something. So obviously I'd rather have that, but it's going to take a lot of people to get to the point where that makes me a lot of money. It's something like $3. It might be £3. But yeah, so it's it adds up, but it takes a lot of people basically. But yeah, that is exactly right, Empire. I was like, software is where I want to go down. I've got loads of software ideas. I really want to improve OA here a lot as well. So that's where I want to focus my time more now. And I think software-wise, in the long run, will potentially make more money than taking the money now. I want to try and build something eventually I could, if I wanted to, I could sell and have some value to it. And obviously, the FBA Mogul, the media brand, can't really sell that. Amazon account, maybe I could get a couple of grand for it, $3,000, because I've got loads of ungates. Maybe one of you guys might buy it for $3,000, maybe not. So no money there. So yeah, having that software business is probably something that actually could be sold at some point if I wanted to. So yeah, if I build up the revenue on that one. So yeah, definitely you're exactly right. That's another thing that popped into my head as well when it came to that mentoring, because mentoring is it takes a lot of time. So it does take a lot of time, which is again one reason that I was like, maybe not for me. I'm already busy as it is. And long term, yeah, 100%. Yeah, Snappy saying, lovely position to be in. You can pick and choose. Yeah, exactly. To be fair, so yeah, fortunately I'm in a position where I do make a lot of money now, so which is can't complain. Yeah, so I'm not necessarily all from Amazon. I mean, when Amazon builds up again, it's going to be even better. But yeah, that's it. Really, you get to choose what you want to do. So yeah. But don't forget, I've been doing this a long time now, though. Like, I don't know how long's the Discord server been going, and things like on the YouTube channel and Amazon. It's not like a quick thing. It's been building up over time, and it's just amazing how much things build up over time in terms of how much money you can make. So it is kind of crazy, really. But yeah, cool. Let's have a look here. Someone actually just messaged me about mentoring now on Discord. Okay. It's catching up with the chat here. So Enoughalls, get your A2A from Peter. Okay, yeah, I asked you, obviously, yeah, how you guys are sourcing right now. Enoughalls is like literally a hardcore Amazon to Amazon. I don't think you do any other sourcing, do you? So, yeah. But yeah, to be fair, A2A is underrated. You can make some really good money on A2A. It's just sometimes it's very inconsistent. You can go a long time without any deals. And they also tend to be sort of a 3-month hold in general, I find, with A2A, sometimes even a little bit more, while you wait for the people who are brick the items to sort of sell out. I tend to just hold those items and wait, to be fair. Enough has started doing Keeper Product Finder. We've got a Keeper Product Finder article coming out on FBAmogul.com very soon, once I actually go through it and make sure it looks good. Well, I've been through it already, but just do some final touches on it. But yeah, so that'll be coming out very soon. But yeah, so that's another series that's coming out. You'll notice FBA Mogul, by the way, we've got loads of RA articles on there. We've got loads of online arbitrage articles, how to get started, although that's not a complete article. And basically that website is building up a massive sort of database of articles, essentially. So yeah, that's another thing I've been working on as well. I'm trying to build up. I want to try and get 3, 4, 5 writers writing regularly on FBAmogul.com. So I want to get that's another place people can learn from. And I have some good stuff on there. So that's another project of mine. But it's actually growing nicely, actually. And I can see the visitors growing slowly over time as well, which is really nice, the organic visitors. So that's another thing that takes such a long time to rank with Google and get the Google authority on a website takes years. So yeah, but all these things take years to do. So enough of saying, yeah, I'm down. Empire in 2 groups. PS. Yeah, exactly. Profit Suite's still pretty good, to be honest. I know he's been tweaking the Amazon bots recently, and they're only going to get better. So sorry, we'll get to your flipping cards. Was ungated from an invoice. Was selling loads FBM, but decided to send in FBA to shift it easier. Then as soon as it went to the fulfillment center, it got listed as stranded. Are you not able to sell it anymore? Is it a dangerous good that's not sent as dangerous? What kind of item is it that you've sent in there? Is it a dangerous good that should be dangerous but it's not listed as dangerous? Maybe that's why everyone's doing FBM on that one. What kind of product was it? Flipping cars and repairs. We'll just call you flipping. Zion, I'm currently trying to ungate an ASIN. I've applied to sell it probably 7 to 8 times. Those are rookie numbers. And now I keep getting automatic declined on the product. Should I keep applying to ungate or return the units? You can keep trying. You can maybe let that case lapse and try again. You need to make sure that your billing address matches the seller address. And I mean, when I mean match, I mean almost identically if you can, including the spaces and capitalization. Obviously, that's not 100% important, but it does help get past the bots. That's what I've heard anyway. I need to actually test it myself. Yeah, Amazon recently asked me to re-verify my seller address. I'm still waiting like a week later, so ridiculous. So yeah, obviously you've got to keep trying. You've got to keep trying, but obviously you got to make sure that obviously the base level is sorted first. Like you're making sure that it's a proper invoice. It has it's a proper VAT invoice. It has invoice on it. Where is it from, Zion? Where did you get the invoice from? The invoice is perfect. Okay, so but yeah, let me know what retailer you bought it from. Wow, only $3 total per affiliate rate. Yeah, I think it's something like that because seller ramp's not that expensive really. So I don't know exactly what it is. I'll have a look. I think it might be £3. It might be £3 or £3.20, but it's not like a huge amount really. RB Source is my best one in terms of I probably shouldn't say what they pay, but yeah, I won't, but it's a little bit more. They're really good, to be fair. And to be fair, it's really good software, but it's also more expensive as well. So, but again, you need a lot of people. So, yeah, the whole idea of affiliates as a business, which is something I still want to do, works really well, but you need volume. So that's why I definitely need to target more newer sellers and try and get newer sellers in. But yeah, so let's say fully transparency. Newer sellers are kind of where the money is in Amazon from, I guess, my point of view in terms of affiliates and things like that. Because obviously you can get them early on like Seller Ramp, let's say, Seller Toolkit, whatever. And if you can get them on earlier on, which is always the plan anyway, help people for free, they're successful. And then if you can get them on early on the software, then they're going to use the software for 2, 3, 4 years. You obviously get 2, 3, 4 years worth of affiliate income. But it's a mutually beneficial relationship of they get the free help, they get the free advice, but then I get the affiliate income. which I don't know what it adds up to. Not a huge amount. But you've got groups like, say, Seller Circle, for example, who do that kind of model, except what they do is, so Seller Circle are excellent marketers. Do not go there, by the way. They're not a good group. But what they obviously realize that new sellers are the most profitable ones. They sell you like a bank account, whether at Revolut, which is not the best bank to actually bank with. They will sell you all the software to sign up, and once they've got you, essentially they kind of toss you aside because they're basically aiming at new people. This is the truth of it. And then obviously they'll then find my group or whatever. It's fine. It's all cool. I'm happy to help anyone anyway. But essentially that's what they kind of do. It's a churn for them. So I want to try and get new people into Amazon space, and obviously not going to toss them aside there. But yeah, that's essentially how their business model works. Not ideal. Well, it makes them a lot of money, to be fair. But yeah, it's not the nicest thing. So re-gated with the invoice again, but I listed the item. It still says I'm gated, but got to the same page, says approved, so I'm stuck. Send me the ASIN, DM me the ASIN. I'll have a look and see what's going on there. I can have a look. But without that, it's very difficult for me. Yeah, send it now and I'll have a look and see. Obviously, I won't reveal what it is and stuff, but yeah. So yeah, keep enough was doing keep product finder. That's an awesome strategy. I'm just terrible at it. But yeah, how's it been going? Enough was keep product finder. You finding some good leads on there, or what strategies you're using? If you can reveal those, how's that going? So hey Johnny, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Currently selling around 4,000 a month. I want to 3x this at least. Definitely should 3x that or more. Yeah. Is it a case of just adding more products and finance? I'm currently utilizing Amex. $1 million question. So obviously finance is, we've got a mic echo. Sorry about that. Nothing's changed, but okay. So yeah, how do you scale your business? I'm actually going to do a video on this. So that's my next video. That's why I've got all this set up. You can't see it, but there's a camera up there as well pointing down. I've done like a proper setup. There's a desk and stuff. Essentially, though, you need more money, of course. Money is the lifeblood of the business, so you need more money to buy stuff. And then it comes down to pretty much, obviously, finding more leads. So you need to do more sourcing, hire VAs from someone like Outsource Central. You need to, so you can basically find and buy more leads. But also the other thing as well, which is kind of where OA Hero comes in, is buying more quantity of the leads that you buy. So like, I know when I started Amazon, I was like just going to do 10 units. I wasn't really that aware of like how good some deals were or how far I could push a site. I was quite fearful sometimes of like, if I found a really good deal on a website, I was like, well, I don't want to. I missed out on so much money in the past. So for a good example is this is Lloyd's Pharmacy. They did some killer deals on Oral-B toothbrushes. When they first dropped, I was like, I'll order 10 units. I don't want to get cancelled because I want to try and make the money from the 10 units rather than risk trying to get 100, 200, 500 units. You should always take the risk because it's way better to risk for 500 units than it is for 10 than get the 10 units. But that's where OA Hero comes in. I'm pointing at the wrong direction there. That extension, because we're building up a nice database of all those websites, and it tells you how much you can order from those websites, whether they're strict or not, and how many times you can loop orders and do they cancel. And that's where the power of that extension comes in, because you can literally, if you find like a deal on John Lewis, for example, you can just loop it over and over. So it pays for itself in like one order essentially. And that's another way to scale, is just buy more units of the leads you've got, really. And it's literally, Amazon's a simple game. It's a volume game, really. It's literally just a volume game. Buy more, sell more, but you need more money for that. So yeah, hopefully that helped anyway. So, but yeah, just essentially do what you're doing now, but just multiply it. Yeah, 10x it if you can. It's a moisturizer. Strange. Okay, maybe it's been. I don't know. That's very. Sometimes you do get totally messed up ASINs, but I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, if you DM me the ASIN, I'll have a look later. Bocage, you've given up on Qogita? No, I still do Qogita. I ordered Qogita. I'm not doing it as much these days because I'm focusing on other things, but when I do source, I'm doing Qogita. I actually ran some scans today, then got distracted. But yeah, last order I did there was maybe I don't know, actually last week or something. But there's deals that I see, like Thomas, for example, who may be on the stream, I'm not sure. He's always finding deals on Qogita. So if you put the work, it's not as easy as it used to be. If you put the work in, keep scanning, you'll find deals. He's found some killer ones as well. So, yeah, but I'm still on Qogita, though. I'm doing a mix. I'm doing like 50% Qogita, I'd say. I'm doing maybe 30% A2A, and I'm doing, the rest of it, 20% on OA. So I need to maybe adjust those to maybe 33, 33, 33. Something like that, probably. But then obviously it depends on time of year as well. Q4, I'm going to be going like, just had another sale there, deep on Qogita, with the perfumes and aftershaves and stuff. So, but yeah, if you guys want to check out OA Hero, by the way, it helps you scale your business, then check it out, basically. That's £100 for lifetime, essentially. So, that's the power of that thing. And hopefully as more people put more knowledge in there, it's going to get more powerful over time as well. So that's the sponsor of this video, and will be pretty much the sponsor for every video until my next bit of software comes out. And then there'll be 2 logos. So Dilly's saying, I've been using Uland. I vaguely remember you saying they're one of the ones worse. Hey, look, if you can use them, they're all good. They just offered me a terrible rate. If I remember, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something in the 20%. And they wanted me to sign a personal guarantee against my home. So I was like, well, you can't have both. You either give me a really good rate and then get me to sign a guarantee, or you take the risk that I may not pay, but you charge me 20%. You don't get to do both. You don't get to take no risk and charge me 20% or whatever it was. I think it was 20. I can't remember. In the 20s anyway. That's not how. That's taking advantage. And actually, recently, I actually got approved for a loan from Wayflyer. I went on there, and I was not happy with the terms. They were actually quite poor, I thought. So I know people have had really good terms on there, though. But for me, if I remember correctly, it was like 15% interest or around there. And they want the payback in 8 months, and it's going to take obviously off my, to come off my sales. I'm like, well, it's barely worth it doing it. So I think I could borrow £45,000. It cost me £6,600 in interest, and I have to pay it off basically from day one. I think it's every 2 weeks they take payments. But essentially, at month 8, they're taking all the money back. It's just like, that's useless to me. I want basically 100k or whatever, or 40, whatever it is going to be, and I want it for a year, and I'll pay it back in a year. But yeah, so I did not like the terms of that, so I won't be going ahead. I wouldn't have gone ahead with that. Well, maybe if it's like 3%, I'd have done it. Hopefully the mic echo stopped snapping. I don't think I've changed anything, but learning curve, trying to find the filters that work. Yeah, enough. It's a lot of filters there, to be fair, on Keep Product Finder. It's a really powerful tool. Yeah, I don't even buy 10, usually 3 to 6. Well, there you go. If you let's say you want to double your profits, just buy 6 to 12. As long as the products you're buying are selling, then just double what you're buying, or triple what you're buying, if you've got the capital for it. So, yeah. Hey, Brad's joining us. Thanks for joining us, Brad. How's it going? And we were talking about you a little bit earlier, actually. How much is Amazon lending offering you? So it was higher. It was 100,000, but I think it's recently just gone down. 61,400 now, but it was like it's actually 100 or 99. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 100, like literally like a week or two ago. But yeah, so it's now like 61,400. Don't know why it's gone down. I think my sales are still pretty healthy, but yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot of money in Amazon, so yeah. But yeah, I just found those terms really bad, to be fair. So I'm not going to take a loan, because I was thinking, well, I could just scale more. Yeah, essentially it's how you scale, just get more money, because I run out of money every month buying stock. If I can get another 50, 100 grand, that'd be quite nice to put into the business, but I'm not paying a ridiculous percentage on it. It's not worth it for me. 20%, that's a huge amount, to be fair. I mean, look, if you have to do it, you got to do it, but I ain't paying that. So it's just not happening for me. Brad, yeah, what have you done, Brad? No, I was talking about your good ideas, actually. So we're talking about the fact you got that Keep a Product Finder article, which I still need to review properly and get that released, because we're talking about Keep a Product Finder a little bit, and then also about your idea of doing the group calls, so which I like as well. So full of good ideas. You get a gold star. But yeah, so lending. Business loans are expensive, but I've heard people get Wayflyer loans around 4 or 5%. I think maybe 6%. That's probably reasonable. But yeah, I don't know, I'm not paying 20% personally. But if you need to do it, you absolutely have to do it, then you got to do it. Maybe just lower the volume. I'm peaking into the, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, if you're going to lower the volume of it, I think I'm peaking to the red a little bit. Let me just lower this down slightly so I'm not peaking into the red so much on my microphone. Hopefully that's a little bit better. But yeah, so take the Amazon loan, give it to Mogul to play poker, double it and pay off. Yeah. No, I'd definitely lose the money now. The game's so advanced now. Definitely don't do that. Hey, I'll try though, I'll try. Risk-free for me. I'll take half the profit. I'll just go and roulette it. But yeah, you probably have a better chance actually doubling your money by roulette than me playing poker these days. But yeah, anyone got any more Amazon questions then? Let me know. Yeah, in terms of that ASIN that you've got, flipping, I have no idea what's going on there. It's really weird, but there's probably a reason why people are FBMing it and not FBAing it. Sometimes you see that where there's a listing with loads of FBMers and no FBA. It could be an opportunity. Also, it could be something wrong with the listing or it's too heavy to post or whatever. So you're still going to get a dev for OA Hero. Yes, I really need to find a dev for OA Hero, to be fair. Right now, I'm developing it myself and improving it. It's nothing too complicated so far that I can't do myself. But yeah, I'm going to get a dev at some point. Yeah, I need to get someone. I should just bite the bullet and hire someone full time. It's quite expensive. But yeah, that would give me plenty of stuff to give me plenty of software to obviously do that, and then other software as well. I guess one thing I'd actually like to end up with is basically 2, 3, 4 devs all working on software. Maybe have an office here in Nottingham, or they work remotely. But yeah, have like a big software company in Amazon space. Making all my software ideas and stuff like that, and obviously improving the software. But yeah, that's something I want to do basically, is at some point, that's one of my kind of, not dreams, but one of my sort of plans, I suppose, is to do that. And get some proper software going basically, and build OA Hero. Like I say, who knows what that might turn into. We've got the Chrome extension working, so it could turn into something like Celeramp. I don't know. Who knows? Or let Celeramp be Celeramp and I'll do something slightly different. But yeah, so I need to get a developer at some point. It's actually a pain in the butt trying to hire people, honestly. It's a real pain. What more work do you need to do to it? So I've just got a bunch of features I need to add to it. So one of the things I'm adding in, my VA's been chasing down all the links for me. I mean, this is really minor, but adding the top cashback on there. I've got like a feature list of things I need to add in. I want to integrate it with Celeramp and Bybot Pro. Now, Qogita have just actually done the Bybot Pro integration, but I want to try and add Celeramp as well. That's one of the things. I've got a bunch of features I think I mentioned in my group. I've not been working on since I've come back from Dubai, so I need to get back onto that, which is probably why I need to hire a developer, to be fair. But yeah, a bunch of features. I always want to add that module in for Amazon as well. I want to split up the restricted badge into IP, PL, things like that. Nothing too complicated, actually. I could probably just sit down for a day and get it done. Probably need to do that. But yeah, I updated all the data today, so all that data has been updated. But yeah, just a bunch of small improvements here and there. The main thing really is going to be the data on it, but there are definitely improvements that can be made to it to make it better. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions, fire them away. I'm making a list, just don't have it to hand right now. But yeah, so how do you personally account for the prep fee cost? So I do not factor it into the so on Seller Toolkit, for example, I'm sure you can do it on Sellerboard as well. You can add in prep cost. I don't like to do that personally, especially in the past. I had multiple prep centers with different prices. That became a nightmare. So what I'd rather do, obviously keep it in mind when I'm sourcing. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take off X amount here. If you're using Scurf, it's like 60p or whatever. Using Warehouse Goblins, it's cheaper. It's like 45p. I keep that in mind when I'm sourcing, but essentially the way it works is it comes off the monthly profit. So when I'm figuring out my monthly profit, not that I've done that this month, but yeah, I'm basically saying, okay, my SDK profit is like the gross profit of like say £4,000 or £3,500, and I've obviously got like prep costs, I've got other costs that come off, and that gives you your net profit essentially. So I do it on a monthly basis essentially, rather than on a per unit basis. I think doing it on a per unit basis just gets way too granular and it's unnecessary, to be fair. But obviously just keeping in mind from a profitability point of view that you've got costs attached when you're sourcing. So that's how I do it basically. Capital is definitely an issue in this game, though. Once you've proved the concept, you've got to find a way to pump it. It's pretty much exactly right, Brad. You literally just got to multiply what you're doing. Pretty much everyone has a capital problem. In general, not a lead problem, although there are, you just end up running out of capital. But I was saying like some people do actually don't have leads and they've got more capital. But yeah, it's just, and then literally once you find a strategy that works, you just keep reinvesting your money, keep churning, keep buying, keep scaling the business, just buy more ASINs, buy more of the ASINs you've got, keep building the business. And yeah, it's surprising how quickly it grows, but you need to keep churning, you need to keep going, and you need to keep scaling essentially. But it's not rocket science. It's just buy more and sell more in the most basic level. Like any business, buy more, sell more. But yeah, it's pretty much source more, buy more, sell more. Yeah, that's pretty much it really. So, and then obviously, yeah, capital ends up being the big bottleneck in that business. Hey Chris, how's it going? You finally joined alive. Awesome. Well, if you've got any questions, feel free to fire them out. We're just doing sort of a chilling out, and CJ's looking fresh. Thank you. Definitely need to get a haircut now though. It's getting a bit long. But yeah, definitely growing the hair out though. But yeah, if you've got any questions about Amazon, we're just chilling, talking about Amazon, whatever, you fire them out there, I'll answer them for you. But yeah, so yeah, the Amazon business is pretty simple really. It's just trying to find, okay, CJ spent 12k on Qogita today from price. Okay, that's crazy. Did you? That is awesome. What did you get? Okay, interesting. See, I ran some scans today and then I got distracted and didn't buy anything. So I've obviously missed a good day. So yeah, that's good. Now I'm like got massive FOMO. But yeah, my Amex bill this month so far, well, technically from last month is 70k, so I need to get paid that off. But yeah, I need to also spend some more money as well. Just sent. Okay, cool. You sent me the ASIN. Let's have a look. Yeah, I don't know what that is really. I'll have to look later. If you actually just send me the actual ASIN via text, I can search and have a quick look, maybe see if there's any issues there. See if I can sell it. But yeah, I can't really tell anything from those screenshots, unfortunately. But yeah. Okay, nice one. That would be good for Q4 then, if it doesn't already sell before then. So that's awesome. Bought shares in Qogita, yeah, exactly. Qogita, look, they've just done that. They put that announcement out recently. There's been a few bits of software that I've updated. RB now. Was the link in the description? Maybe not, but go to my group and join through my link. They've just released a new few scanning tools and stuff actually to do custom scans. I've not used them myself yet. I need to test them out. Looks pretty powerful stuff though. They've even got a Chrome extension now, which is pretty cool. And then Qogita put that announcement out today saying that they have officially onboarded 3 brands. Wellada, which is one that I mentioned before. Fragrance One, although there's no items on their store. And also Nakimo, which I've never heard of, but yeah. So now the one thing that was a problem is I need to speak to them about this is, like, how do we know we're actually buying from the brand? So they've onboarded the brand. I'm looking at one of the listings right now, and I don't know which one is the brand. So it'd be ideal to see that really, so we know we're getting brand direct. Because right now the lowest price supplier for Nakimo doesn't offer an invoice. So, yeah, I need to speak to them about that, actually. Yeah, but interesting stuff on the Qogita level. They're always trying to improve anywhere. And they also did that Buybot Pro integration as well recently. So, which is kind of interesting. Let's have a look then quickly at this. Can I sell this ASIN then? So, let's have a look. Grinch. New condition. Yeah, I can sell it. I obviously don't know if it's actually like gate or something, but for me it's fine. I don't know what's gone on there really with that one. But yeah, it's definitely not a dangerous good, I wouldn't have thought. But yeah, sometimes you do get that where things is obviously dangerous, but it's not listed as DG. You send that in, you risk it not being sold. G Spencer. Oh yeah, Chrome extension. Yeah, looks good on the. Yeah, I need to check it out actually. So Arbisource obviously always improving, always releasing new bits. So do you think they've onboarded them yet, or just signed the deal? I have no idea. They put an announcement out that they've. What was the announcement? The announcement was thrilled to announce officially onboarded 3 amazing clients directly into our platform. Means now you can shop straight from the source and enjoy all the perks that come with it. Okay, well, yeah, the problem is we need to actually know who we're actually buying from, that supplier. So that's one thing they need to do. Maybe they've not got the stock on there yet. I don't know. I'll speak to them and ask them. But yeah, right now it's not obvious that you're buying direct from the brand, but that could be very exciting. Obviously, you need to be careful because that could absolutely tank. So do need to be careful with that if everyone's buying directly from those brands. But yeah, again, pretty much as usual, buy the price drops, buy the sales, buy the clearances. We don't buy stuff that's just always on the normal price. So whether that's going to make a difference to us, I don't know. But it's kind of interesting from a point of view that they're always developing the website and they're always developing the brand. And they've got these really good brand deals going on. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Chris saying, you said in another video you look at Qogita price drops. Is this on the site or do you using Arbisource? So Qogita price drops is a Discord server that's run by my younger brother, and essentially what it does is it scans Qogita every hour, every 3 hours, every 6 hours, and basically spits out a CSV file that has all the price drops in that time period. Now, just because something's dropped in price doesn't mean that it's actually profitable. So then what you do is you can put it into Arbisource as a wholesale scan and go from there, basically. So I still think it's one of the best methods, to be fair. CGH recently had some good ideas actually about having like items that are out of stock back into in stock. I think my brother's working on that now. But yeah, essentially it's the best way. You're buying stuff on sale and then checking if they're on sale. So I don't think I've put the links in the description, but yeah, if you want to sign up to any of those tools, Qogita as well, please use my links. So yeah, that's the method basically. So, but yeah, if you DM me, I can help you find your first Qogita link if you deal. So if you want to DM me, I can talk to you after the stream or tomorrow, and we can get you sorted on your first Qogita deal because you also get that 120 discount, which is quite nice. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, Qogita is definitely harder than it was before, but there's still plenty of deals out there. Like I say, CJ apparently spent 12k today, which is insane. But yeah, so you got a really good deal, obviously. Saying that, it's not when you're buying something like Dolce & Gabbana, whatever it is, it's not that hard to rack up a 10 grand bill because it's quite an expensive product. So yeah, but it's awesome that you found that, which is pretty sick. And obviously such a good brand as well. So yeah, very nice. I'm getting asked, how do I sponsor a YouTube video? I'll have to talk to you about that later, Chris. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, if you guys got any more questions, feel free to throw them out. Otherwise, I'll probably wrap it up maybe around 9:30. Yeah, I need to go and do some shopping. My fridge is looking very bare. I need to go and get some stuff. And yeah, get on with some boring life stuff, I suppose. Is there a way to message Amazon as it's weird I'm approved? So when did you get approved, by the way? Is it fairly recently or has it taken a while? You can open a case, to be fair, and ask. They may be able to sort it out. They're normally pretty useless, but you can always open a case and ask what's going on. Say, look, I'm approved on this item. I can't sell it for whatever reason. Is there any reason? What's the problem? Can you help me? Blah, blah, blah. See if they'll help you. But are there any? I'm actually opening it now. Are there any FBA sellers on there? Let's have a look. Or is it all FBM? Let's have a look here. It's taking ages. Oh, there is one FBA seller, to be fair, so that I can see. So most of it's FBM, but there is one FBA seller. So it might just be a totally broken listing. Normally, seller support is pretty useless, but yeah, someone somehow has gotten an FBA listing going, but everyone else is FBM. And for a product like this, I'd imagine most people doing FBA. So I imagine looking at that listing is literally broken for whatever reason. Empire live streams Monday, Wednesday. Yes, I'm going to try and keep that schedule up. Monday, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. As long as I don't fall asleep on the sofa again. Yeah, that's the plan basically. And so Monday will probably be sourcing, probably Qogita, and do some OA maybe as well. Wednesday will be more. Obviously, on Monday I just answer questions as well, and then Wednesday will be that as well. I'm going to try and, if I can, we'll get some topics. Obviously, doing these every week, so it might get a bit stale. So try and get some topics to talk about as well. So I'll definitely throw that out. Maybe throw a poll out into the group, see what people want me to talk about as a sort of a theme of the live streams. Also, potentially as well, getting other people on the live stream so we can have more of a chat between the sort of the 2 and 3 of us, and then also the live chat as well with you guys would be really awesome. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we'll try and do that as well. So I just like doing these. It's good to hang out with you guys, good to answer questions and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoy doing these a lot, to be fair. So it's good. It's good. I do appreciate you guys watching as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, so yeah, Amazon support are terrible. We may as well try flipping and see what happens. See what they say. But looking at that listing, it's very odd that an item like that, which is a moisturizer, isn't all FBA and everyone's doing FBM. Apart from one person. Maybe they create the listing, I don't know. But yeah, I just got no idea what's wrong with that listing. I'll try and add it to inventory and see what's going on. But yeah. Bert saying, can you chuck me an ASIN to look at off screen? Sure, I can have a quick look if you want. So yeah, I won't make this like a regular thing where I'm reviewing ASINs because it doesn't make for good viewing, but I'll have a quick look at an ASIN if you want. Yeah, so as we're kind of somewhat wrapping up the live stream, I'll happily look at an ASIN and give you my sort of opinion on it very briefly. But yeah, interesting that, say Arbisource improving, Qogita improving. Qogita are literally making massive moves, honestly. They're doing some massive moves, like crazy moves. I can't say too much, but yeah, they're doing some big moves. Let's have a look at this listing then. So I'm gonna reveal it to everyone, but so it's B0. No, I'm joking. They all start with B0. Oh, which one is it? Okay. I can say the brand, right? I'll say the brand. It's a Nivea brand. But yeah. So what do you want me to? What are you asking about this one? But in the meantime, let's just have a look at the chat here. Chris, I saw on ASIN a while ago the reviews were like 900, then dropped off to 300. Figures similar to that. Why do reviews drop on ASIN? I saw this on one of the Keeper charts. I'll be honest, I never look at the reviews. But the explanation for that probably is a variation got deleted. That is what I'd probably imagine. So there might have been two variations, maybe like 100 mil, 300 mil, or maybe like the 100 mil one got deleted to make it a single listing, or it got separated into its own listing and got moved. That would probably be the only explanation that would be for a review count dropping so much. Basically, don't look at reviews like that because it's pointless. It doesn't really seem to matter too much. But yeah, so, okay, so on this one here is worrying about IP. And it's not an IP brand, to be fair. So, although saying that, there was a big kickoff. But everyone came back, though. So what I imagine happened on that listing, Bert, was basically, so we have a big sudden drop down. In fact, what I'll do is I can screenshot this. And I'll throw it onto the live screen. I'll screenshot that. So what we have here is, actually, we could do like an ASIN review stream. It could be kind of interesting. So on this one, for example, we do have up to 30 sellers, and then suddenly we've got this massive drop down of sellers, which definitely looks like IP. Now, we all know Nivea isn't really IP, so nothing to worry about there. Then you can see all the sellers coming back slowly. I guess they're sending all their... Actually, it's a weird one. You wouldn't expect so many sellers to be slowly coming back on, but then everyone suddenly comes back on and we're back to normal. This, to me, kind of looks like, basically, it might have been a hazmat review on this item or something like that, where everyone got kicked off, but then everyone essentially has come back. So it's just weird that we have this trickle up of sellers coming back and then suddenly a big spike. I'd have expected to see this to be flat in between these two spikes. Spike down, spike up. But essentially, looks like a bit of a hazmat review or something went wrong with the listing. Everyone got kicked off and then everyone's been back on again. But I'd imagine it's probably a hazmat review. Or something like that on that one. It looks fine to me. So, yeah. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Nivea's fine. So, as long as Nivea's the actual brand on it, which it is, you're all good, basically. Yeah. Might have been, who knows what it could have been. But, yeah, everyone has come back, though, on that one. So, kind of interesting one, actually, to see that interesting listing, that one, actually. But yeah, so 3 months ago, selling it okay, didn't send FBA now. Yeah, it's a weird one. Sometimes you get listings that are just broken, and Amazon just can't fix them. So you're probably better off just making a brand new listing, to be fair. Yeah, parallel import causes kind of, it might be as well, to be fair, because parallel imports are pretty, especially if it was like an A to A deal. I don't know how you got that particular deal, but if it was like an A to A one, then obviously like the Amazon invoice from the UK is like the ultimate invoice. So that would be fine for winning like a parallel import. So maybe that's what it was. I got one recently for TP-Link, which is an A to A. Again, won it super easy. But yeah, so it's a weird one, really. That's where, without having like direct knowledge of that particular item, it's very hard to know exactly what went wrong. But we can see everyone came back, so it's probably fine. You're probably okay on that one. So, and it's not indicative of that brand though, because we all know, although there was some problems with Nivea in the past, Nivea is fine to sell as a brand. So, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. And hopefully what I can do is, again, with OA Hero, if someone was on that list and they could say, look, with Nivea, for example, maybe it was a parallel import, we could put that information in there, things like that. So having that kind of inside knowledge kind of interesting as well. Obviously, the more people we get on there, the better. And we can get that information. But yeah, with that one, it wouldn't worry me too much. So what I would probably look to do, actually, is look through every Nivea listing, or like open up 5 or 10 Niveas, similar ones, and see if there's a seller drop all at the same time. That could be more interesting when you see the same thing across multiple listings, because that is way more indicative of them going through an IP and parallel importing everyone at the same time on multiple listings. Or if it's just that one listing in isolation, more likely probably hazmat review, but who knows, or some sort of issue. But yeah, it could even be like a customer, there's been a spike in customer returns and they essentially want to review the listing maybe. I don't know if they kick everyone off for that, but yeah, it could be. You just don't know really. Yeah, it's a difficult one to know exactly what happened there, but certainly an interesting listing though. Cool. So any final questions then before we wrap it up? You've got your chance now to ask away. So you're basically getting the mentoring for free. Just ask me here. So yeah, if only someone could build something that can read a keeper chart like a human. Exactly. That is one of my plans. Need to learn a bit more AI though, or hire someone who knows AI. But yeah, I definitely think that cannot be hard to do. An AI, someone who can literally read those charts, not someone. Writing an algorithm, an AI model that can read keeper charts, because you can give it a crap load of data, and that's all AI is. It's just a bunch of data to read that kind of stuff. I think it's doable, 100% doable. Empire says, how much does Qogita pay per referral? If you're allowed to say, I'm not allowed to say. Sorry, but yeah, it's decent. Let's put it like that. They're paying a lot for customers, so it's decent. But they're growing their business. They're doing a great job, to be fair. So, and it is a cash cow, to be fair. You can make a lot of money on there. So, but yeah, I'm not allowed to say though, unfortunately. But it's decent. Let's put it like that. Yeah, crazy amount of data within Keeper. Yeah, of course, it's just obviously getting that data out into like a model. But they've obviously got an API which you can access. So yeah, it could be really interesting, to be fair. It probably costs a lot of money to train an AI model on the Keeper data, but it could be really powerful stuff. So that's something definitely I'm going to try and work on. I've already got a bot to read drops in seller account on Keeper charts integrated into a chatbot. There you go, exactly. Yeah. So yeah. So essentially, that's kind of pretty much what I'd like to do. Essentially, is write something that will not just look at that, but can look at multiple different things. Maybe like give a listing a rating, point out red flags, things like that. So that's really cool that you've got something like that. That's really cool. But yeah, to be fair, it's not very difficult to have something that just looks for a sudden spike in sellers over a very short period of time. That is kind of not too complicated to do, to be fair. No AI required there, to be fair. But yeah, but obviously to do the other stuff, it gets a bit trickier. But in theory, you probably don't even need AI for this stuff. It's just AI would make it easier to build, essentially, than having to write like some crazy algorithm, because the AI will be the algorithm essentially on that one. So but yeah, it'd be very interesting. But yeah, Empire, if you want to be, you can do what I do, to be fair. Get a YouTube channel going, create a Discord community. You can get in touch with Qogita, get that referral code if you want. If you do YouTube or have a group or something, and yeah, you can then find out. So but yeah, but no, I can't personally reveal that, unfortunately. So but it's decent. They're very generous. AI is great to help building stuff. Yes, it is, honestly. Yeah, I said that earlier. Actually, it's like literally, it is. Yeah, it is smart and dumb at the same time. So I think it's the equivalent of having like a 3-year-old child that has an encyclopedic knowledge. So it knows a lot of stuff, but it's life skills and reasoning and street smarts and stuff like that essentially is like a level that's probably less than a 3-year-old, so it makes a lot of basic mistakes, but yeah, it's only going to get better over time, but that's essentially the best way I think of it, really. So then when people are like writing businesses around AI, like even I'm worried, like giving it a spreadsheet and saying like, can you just do this? I'm like, well, I'm worried about what is going to change beyond what I've asked. It's like, would you give like a 3-year-old important business stuff to do? It's like, probably not. no matter how clever they were. It's a bit scary at times, to be fair. So got one gets relevant data from Keeper, feed it into OpenAI. Oh, cool. Okay, and tell if products are good or not. Okay, that's really cool. So there you go. Yeah, you can use OpenAI for that as well. Yeah, so that's really cool. That's nice. I need to sit down and do that at some point. That is pretty awesome. That is pretty cool. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. It's obviously not. I'm just wondering how it's working, how it's figuring it out. It's interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, I like that. They use OpenAI to do that. Interesting. One problem with AI is that it will just agree with you. If you ask it a new X, fix my code, it'll say yes and implement it. It actually doesn't fix it. Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's clever and it's dumb. It is. Yeah. So you got to be very careful. I know some people out there have like what's called like vibe coded. That's a new phrase now people use, where basically you use AI to make all your software for you from scratch without any kind of coding knowledge. And then I remember some guy on Reddit, I think it was on Reddit, basically made some software and said, look, coders are all dead, or not dead, but like they're all going to get fired. I just made this vibe coding it. I know nothing about coding and I've made this amazing software. It got hacked within like 30 minutes because it was just like open to abuse. So yeah, definitely. I used AI to help me write my Chrome extension, and there's one bit in it, by the way, that's terrible. But it put it in there. It's fine from like, it's not a security point of view. It's fine. But one thing you should never do, by the way, is just like get all the data from the database in one go. It's like, it's fine when you've got like 100, 200 rows. When you've got 1,000, 10,000 million rows, it's really bad. And it did that in one of the things. I was like, what is going on here? Like, but yeah, it's fine for now, but I'll need to change that at some point. It's just stupid. That's really stupid to do that. It's like it's day one coding. You learn not to do that, and that this advanced AI did that. So yeah, it's clever and it's terrible. It's dumb. So that's the dangerous thing of it, really. I did the same brand but different product, and it still won't let me sell, even if it says approved. Okay. So this does happen, by the way. Sometimes you get brands where you can add it in to Seller Central, but you just cannot either send it in or there's something wrong with it, basically. It's almost like a hard-gated brand, but it's not been fully hard-gated. It's just broken in some other way. So yeah, that's exactly what's happened with that brand, essentially. I'm trying to think of, there's a, what brand was it? There's a perfume brand that's like that. It lets you add it in to Seller Central, but when you actually go to send it in, it just never lets you send it in. It always says there's not enough space. But it's essentially a hard gate on that brand. What brand is it? Why can't I think what it is? There you go. Champagne's like that, or Champini, or whatever it's called. It's like that. What is that brand? Oh my god, I can't remember now. But there's definitely a perfume brand where it's like that. You just cannot send it in. You can add it. It looks okay, but you cannot send it in. I can't think what it is for now. I don't think it is them. There's another. It is that one, but there's another one as well. I think it's not Hugo Boss. It's not Versace. Versace's fine to sell. What is it? I cannot think. Software very oversaturated as a job. So with AI, it makes no sense for companies to hire 3 new junior devs rather than 1 senior dev that can use AI. Kind of disagree. AI, it's a good tool to be fair, but yeah, you ain't gonna, like in my old job, I ain't gonna use AI to write code for us. Like, it was for clinical trial software. We might use it to help, but yeah, no, it's just not. No way, basically, not in 10, 15 years, maybe in 10, 15 years, but yeah. So if you're just building bog standard basic stuff, yeah, but when you're doing custom stuff like we were doing, there's no way it's gonna help. It's not gonna replace a developer in any way, shape, or form. The other thing as well we needed is you can't just release your own code. It needs to go through an approval process. It needs to be reviewed by the coders, things like that. So yeah, on some basic stuff, sure, AI can take over, but on a lot of stuff, no, definitely not. It's a tool to help you, but you definitely shouldn't be utilizing it to code. And it writes bad code as well. So yeah, there's another thing as well. It's not just like building software. It's like anyone could build a house, right? If you learned from YouTube and stuff. But then there's like building a house, and there's like building a house that's got good foundations and good quality, and you do everything right. You might be able to build a house, but it's like then you try and add an extension onto it, the whole thing falls down. That's the same with software. You need to make sure you're building it extensively and you're building it properly. so that when you expand on it, it's not going to collapse and be a pain in the butt. You need rewriting and stuff. So software engineering is like really complicated actually, and AI is not going to take that over for a long time, no matter what managers think. It's not just sitting there and writing basic code. So yeah, definitely not worried about that. Not that I'm in that industry anymore, but yeah, not worried about that. Eventually, though, potentially. So what you sent in yeah. So Brad's asking you, can you send it in, or is it just not letting you send it in? I think he did send it in, and it was immediately gated. So how do you start a personal brand? I think people want to get replaced by AI. Will get replaced by people who can use AI. Maybe, sure. In some places, AI. Yeah, look, AI is. It all depends. If it carries on the way it is going now in terms of how much it's improving, it's obviously going to be not very dangerous, but like very powerful. It's just whether it's going to hit that plateau. There's also this, I can't remember what the exact thing it's called, but AI learns from itself, and it also sprouts a lot of BS. So essentially it's like learning BS from itself over and over, and you essentially get to this point where it like implodes on itself because it's just so much BS. But yeah, essentially that's something you need to be careful of as well. But it's powerful stuff, to be fair, but it's got a long way to go yet. And say from a coding point, there's more than just writing code. There's way more to it than that. So and that you can't beat with experience, to be fair. So how do you start a personal brand? I don't know. You just start. It's a difficult one, really. I just started doing YouTube, I suppose, and then from there, just created a group, and you just build a brand like that, and before you know it, you got FBA Mogul, Amazon expert. It's a difficult one, really. It's like someone a few months back asked me, like, how did you create a Discord group that's like got people active and things like that? I'm like, well, that's quite like an ephemeral sort of thing. It's an organic thing, and the only way that I could say is that basically make a group, provide value, be active in it, and eventually, hopefully, people will join it and be active in it. But is there like a set method on how to do it? No, because you just happen to have, you hope you get the right people in there who are active and want to talk, and there's no set strategy for it. It's something that's organic, essentially. But from a brand point of view, yeah, I'm not like an expert on building brands, really. But yeah, for me, take the skill that you do, whether it's knitting or doing Amazon, create a YouTube channel or some sort of social media. I think YouTube's the best. I think TikTok and Instagram are meh, and all that kind of stuff. And then go from there, basically. And then you can, if you want to do, you can create a group, a free one or a paid one, or you can do a school community or something like that, and then go from there, basically. And if you want, you can monetize it and things like that. But yeah, so AI will take over some jobs in the future, yeah, at some point. Yeah, self-learning AI, as long as it goes on, more removed it is from humans. Exactly, yeah. So, but it literally, if just like when it gives you a rubbish answer that's wrong, imagine it keeps learning from itself from that wrong thing, and it basically just ends up talking nonsense, essentially, and it basically is like an implosion, where it basically just doesn't even speak English anymore because it's just learning from such BS from itself over and over and over. It's like the whole thing of cloning. Like if you clone something, there's errors that appear over time, and after like 1,000 or 1,000,000 clones, you're basically going to end up with a total mess. It's like that, essentially. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't know if it'll end up happening, but it's something that could happen in AI. Because all these models keep learning and building on themselves, and in a sense, if that data's not good, then it just learns rubbish. Providing value helps personal branding. You wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. That is a good thing. Literally, that's what I try and do. Is just provide value to people, and then hopefully people will come. Essentially, so that's all you can really do. And then from there, you can try and monetize through courses, mentoring, affiliates, things like that, essentially. And this could work on any kind of thing, whether it's a business thing like Amazon FBA, whether you just got a hobby like tennis or golf or whatever. There's always people that love talking about that kind of stuff and want to join communities and hang out. And, there's always, no matter what niche you do, there's people who want to do that. And then if you're good at golf, you can make a course on it and things like that. So, I think you can do that, and then you can build a brand around that as well. So, and personal brands these days, by the way, are massive. Personal brands are huge and only getting bigger. All hail the YouTube thing. Yeah, exactly. YouTube is basically the best one, without a doubt. It's where the money's made, essentially. A one YouTube subscriber is way more valuable than 100 or 1,000 Instagram subscribers. So yeah, it's that good, basically. But yeah, saying that people can make money from those other platforms, but yeah, it also depends who your audience is as well, or what kind of niche you're in. So yeah, like you say, I could probably start a Minecraft channel and get like maybe 1 million subscribers, which would be pretty cool to be fair. But most people that play Minecraft are children, and if you want to monetize that, it becomes very difficult because children don't have money. You basically have to try and figure out a way to manipulate parents to buy stuff. It's an interesting challenge. So from a point of view, maybe my channel is more profitable than a 1 million subscriber channel about Minecraft. Even though I've only got like 5,800 subscribers. One of those interesting ones, really. So yeah, but yeah, nice. Keep going, mate. Yeah, so if you enjoy doing your gaming channel, do it. I mean, you can make some good money on that kind of stuff, really. But yeah, it's again, gaming YouTube channels are definitely more about volume than. It's interesting, like this niche, for example, of Amazon FBA. We'll have a massive drop off of people. I'll probably wrap this up in a minute. It's getting late, but yeah. Amazon FBA is definitely more niche and business-like, so every subscriber is way more valuable. Let's say they're worth £100 a month or whatever, they're not, but just to give you an idea, basically. Whereas on gaming, every subscriber is worth like £1 a month, but you have to do volume, but you'll want it to get volume as well, like 1 million people. So it's an interesting kind of concept, really, and it's more of a volume game. Getting a lot of subscribers on gaming channels, that's what you should do there. Whereas my channel, it's all about, obviously I want to get subscribers, but the quality of the subscribers that I get. So, and you're all quality subscribers, which is awesome. So thank you. Getting decent people in. Anyway, yeah. So talking about monetization, your ads are turning on. A bit late to say. Okay, so yeah, I really hate it, but so YouTube will not promote this video without ads, basically. So it's one of those annoying things. So that's why I turn them on. I think it's on like the most passive one. But yeah, essentially the way YouTube works, they try and make money from ads, so they're more likely to promote videos and lives and stuff that have ads in them. So it's not, I'm literally making no money from it, but it's more about trying to get more people in, essentially. So that's why I run them. But yeah, I don't like them really. Cool, guys. So last question, then I'm going to wrap it up. Or last comment. I know current channel I'm using literally right now, it took a while to get my first sub. Now I have 26. Yeah, exactly. So it takes ages to build. Again, anything good in life takes a long time, to be fair. So yeah, YouTube is one of those ones. I've got a friend who actually who has started. She's an old work colleague. I helped teach her how to code. And she's basically starting a YouTube channel around coding with like women in tech and stuff like that. And she's getting discouraged. I'm like, you've done like 3 videos. Like, talk to you after 100 videos. Basically, no one's going to watch your first like 50 to 100 videos. Realistically, it takes a long time to build up. But you've got to be consistent, to be fair. So, but yeah. Proper annoying on live, end up missing something. Sorry about that. I'll probably just turn it off then, to be fair. Yeah, it just is what it is. I'll just turn it off next time and put it on afterwards. So sorry about that. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It doesn't really tell me when they are, so I can pause. But yeah, I don't like them anyway. I'll get rid of them. But yeah, it's self-improvement. Absolutely. So yeah, another good tip as well I can give you on YouTube is try and improve yourself, like every video by 1% every time. So whether that's the way you talk, whether you dress, whether it's your video quality, whether it's your editing quality, whether it's your lighting, whether it's adding another camera angle, whether it's talking about scripting your intro, your hooks, whether it's talking about getting a more organized topic, a more interesting topic. There's so many things you can improve, and just try and improve your video by 1% every time. You'll be surprised. I think it's a good thing for life, isn't it? Try and improve yourself 1% every day if you can. So it doesn't sound like much on a day-to-day basis, but over a year adds up a lot. Just search Blade Industries. It realistically wants to become a millionaire by 25. I just search. Oh, okay. Blade Industries. Is it realistic to want to become a millionaire by 25? Is it realistic? How old are you now? If you're 24 and you're not a millionaire, I'd say no. It can be done. Honestly, it can be done. If you start at the age of 18 and you work in a good niche, and I don't know what your plan is. It's YouTube, I suppose. 16, okay, that's good. So you have got like 9 years, which is a long time to be fair. So, and you want to do it from YouTube, I guess. But yeah, it's possible. I'm not saying it's easy, but yeah, I know, right, Ian? Yeah, I'm 39, so. Yeah, definitely feel like I'm getting into doing things a little bit late, but there we go. You've got more life skills though, Ian, and more knowledge, so yeah, that can help you. Yes, it's tough. Well, of course, it's definitely possible next time, but yeah, it's not easy though. You got to be. I think the biggest tip I can give anyone is just be consistent. If you do what you're doing and you keep value to people, and and entertaining people or doing whatever you're doing, and you're doing it for 9 years, I think you'd be very successful, basically. So, yeah. Eventually you say you can edit, eventually you want to outsource that, things like that, and focus on, it's possible. Learn and then stay away from girls. Yeah. So yeah, because you might end up giving away £500,000. But no, so yeah, it's definitely possible, mate. 100%. But no. Yeah, mate, we're all in different parts of our journey, mate. So you've definitely got more life experience and more skills, though, which are definitely very valuable to becoming rich. In fact, most millionaires, to be fair, I think become millionaires in their 40s. So you're in there, basically. Mostly people who have got lots of life and work experience. Obviously, there's new opportunities now in like the internet with YouTube and social media and things like that, where you can literally become filthy rich really quickly. But yeah, it can be done, basically. So you both got advantages. One's got age advantage, one's got experience advantage. So obviously we'd all take the age, realistically. That's the one thing we all wish we had more of, more time, I suppose, and we're young again. But yeah, mate, just literally be consistent on what you're doing, basically. Keep going, keep providing value to people, and go from there, basically. And obviously understand that a gaming channel is a very difficult one to monetize. So you need a volume. So you need to be, basically with gaming YouTube channels, you need to basically do it every day. You need to do streaming for 6-8 hours every evening, and just try and build an audience and have like a good personality, be entertaining. Not like an expert on gaming channels, but pretty much that's the way to go about it. I actually personally think doing a YouTube channel around a niche like Amazon FBA or some business or something is a better way to make money, personally, but you can still do it through gaming. So yeah, I'm probably never going to have 1 million subscribers on this channel. I'm hopefully at some point I get to 100,000. Even that's going to be a tall order. It's not that kind of channel. But yeah, obviously gaming is easy to get 1 million, really. Not easy, but you know what I mean, though. But yeah, so yeah, and people can become millionaires, but you've got to just put the work in. Obviously, you need a bit of luck, make the right decisions, but consistency and hard work is the big thing. And you're young, so you've got loads of energy, so you can work 10, 12, 14 hour days, no problem. Obviously, you've got school, though, so yeah, don't neglect school. So last few things then. Ian, I work full time, not planned on taking anything out until I'm 50 to see where I am with Amazon. Yeah, exactly. Keep building it, mate, if you can. Absolutely. At some point, you'll know when you're ready to quit your job if you decide to do that. But yeah, absolutely. So keep going, keep building it up, basically, and you'll hopefully end up with a nice nest egg, a nice business that you can either just cash out or go full time on that Amazon business. Empire gaming channel is also very saturated. Essentially unique selling point on that one, probably your personality, essentially. Probably the big one, really, and just being consistent and getting a lot of people over a long time. I'm not an expert on gaming channels. I don't ever watch gaming channels, things like that. This is just going off potentially what I think. But yeah, definitely not an expert on that one, though. I'll be a billionaire. Hope you are, mate. That's a little bit more unlikely, to be fair. So, but I admire your moxie there. That's always good to have confidence. So, yeah, but just start with 1 million first. Start with 1 million. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Right, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. I need to go and do a little bit of shopping. I'll see you again definitely on Monday, 8 p.m. I'll see you guys then. I appreciate it. Yeah, and it's good to have the ambition, mate. Keep it up. Just keep working. That's the only way to do it. Next then, you got to keep working, keep motivated. It's good to have a positive mental attitude. That's an important thing. And just accept that this thing's going to take a long time. Aim for 25 is a good thing, basically. Even if you get to 100k at 25, that's pretty awesome, to be fair. So, and then from there it can scale. Cheers.